So, hello there, this is Ívar by Ívar's Fly Workshop. Today we are tying an old Icelandic pattern called Krafla. It's a salmon-fly by Kristján Gíslason, and this fly has been around here for a while, and actually Krafla is a volcano in Iceland, and it's, I presume, named after the volcano. And this fly actually reminds a little bit of the Francis fly because it has those stems sticking out. Actually, those stems are supposed to be made out of some pig hair, but we do not have them, and it's okay if you use just the feather stems, just like as you would be tying a Francis fly. So you put 4 stems. If you have them in like 2 white and 2 orange, that's just great, but we are using the white one we have, and you place 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom, and then you can, like we say, you can lightly attach them and adjust them into the position that you prefer, and then you can kind of trim off the end of them where the feather is, as you see to the right there. Just snip this tiny part off and you're good to go. And then you will be snipping the tag ends off. Thus you will be just snipping off with your scissors like this. And this fly is special. Special for many cases, because the method of tying the Krafla is I would say a unique method when it comes to working with feathers. First of all, you start to take an orange feather, get off those fibers of the feather, and you do it twice. You do it like both on the on each side of the feather to get like long enough fibers, and that will be just a place there to be like a backup for the stems. And we will do the same for the bottom of the fly, or the bottom of the hook, and it's going to be looking something like this when we are done with it. Then we roll our thread forward and snip off the ends of the material. And this fly has like a rib on it as well, and the rib is an oval silver, which we will place right there. Actually, you can tie this fly since it's originally a salmon fly. It's originally a salmon pattern, but you can actually tie a Krafla on like a trout hook number, I don't know, 6 or 8 or 10, like a streamer hook, short streamer hooks, and put a bead on them and use exactly the same technique and play with the colors, and it's gonna work. It's a good fly in those cases. Now we are coming to the funny part of the fly. I'm using 3. You use 2 or 3 feathers for this. I'm using actually 3 orange cock feathers. Place them all together, and you try to pick like about the same length of the feather. Then you take 2 white feathers. Those are just those feathers I'm using there are just some leftover dry fly feathers I had. So I'm not, they're quite large for the dry fly, so you can use them for something like this, or to do a palmering on a woolly Peccar or a nobbler or some sort of stuff like that. Then we get our thread to the front of the hook, to the eye. And we'll be starting by wrapping the white feathers. And pay attention to that. It's just like you'll be wrapping a humongous dry fly body. And you just wrap them simultaneously both of the feathers to about there, and then you lock it in place. You must remember there has to be a space for the head of the fly. Absolutely. Then the second part is to wrap the orange feathers around, and you get this mixture of colors, both orange and white. And actually you can tie the Krafla with different colors, like red and black comes out very well. And if you would add like one feather, like a black feather, into this combination, it's gonna give you a pretty cool body of a fly. Then you lock those feathers in place. Then you need to take a needle, because lots of fibers will be trapped under each other when we do the feather wrapping. And that's okay, because that can easily be fixed with the needle. Just make sure that you make enough wraps in the front, so when you're turning the vise it doesn't get loose and then you have to do all the stuff again. And you have to work your way through this. Just one round, pick up fibers that had been trapped under either the feather stems or the oval silver. Then you trim off the feather or the existing material, and like the white feather there, you can use that again for something. Then comes the rib of the fly, and the rib of the fly is going to be almost invisible because you won't see much of it. It's going to be kind of trapped in there. Then you lock that in place with your thread and snip off the end there close to the head, and then you have to take your needle again because some of the fibers have been trapped under the rib again. It's a little work to tie the Krafla, but it's totally totally worth it. It's a fun fly to tie, and it's at least for people who hadn't worked and used this method of trying or tying before, it's kind of like a challenging for the first few times, and when you get into practice, it's a relatively simple fly to tie. Then we start to form the head of the fly, and the head is supposed to be split in two, so it's orange, like this bright orange color that we are using in our thread, and then the front part of the head should be black. So we'll be doing a whip finishing job there, but we are not placing any varnish on the fly yet. We'll do a couple of whip finishes there just to make a knot, and we'll get the thread away, and then we will get our black thread and form this black part of the head there, as you see. Has to be done carefully, and it's almost like half and half, 1/3 black, 2/3 of the head orange, according to the original pattern which I'm familiar with. Then we'll do a whip finishing job again on the black thread, and when we are done with that, to get the whip finishing knots on the fly is ready to take it to the barber shop, and we are the barber, so we have to give the fly a haircut, and you can do that in at least two ways. You can use this tool there, and this has a razor blade on it, and this tool is actually made for deer hair, to make, muddlers and stuff like that. But personally, I like to shave this fly or cut the fur of the fly simply with my scissors. And then you have to hold the scissors in place with your hand, so it's gonna be always gonna be in the same place. Then you turn around the vise, and then you will get like an even texture, like an even cut. I know it's a little bit of a mess. It's almost as messy to compare to working with deer hair, but it's totally worth trying it, and it's fun to tie. Then the second round with the scissors is similar like this. The fly should look something like this, like a Christmas tree. This was just only the first, like we say, the first round. And you can use the hook and the direction of the bended eye to kind of guide your scissors. But the fly should, the body should look something like this, like a carrot or a body of a Francis fly. Then in our second round, we close a little bit, get us a little bit closer into the fly to get the angle a bit narrower. There has to be a narrower angle because we don't want the fly to be too bulky. And pay attention to the eye. It's gonna make us not get in where we want with the scissors, and that can be a problem. But the medicine for that is simply to do it freehand and turn the fly around and reach with your scissors from this side. Then you reach all the fibers that you need to cut away. It's just, basic engineering kind of. I figured this out myself. And you can kind of turn the fly and look at it, look straight on the front of it, and see when you're satisfied with the shape of the body. There is always you can spend a few minutes on cutting and trimming the fibers so you get them even as you prefer. And I don't have it with me here, but just to get the loose fibers out and pick up maybe fibers that are trapped under, I use an old toothbrush that I have. And I just give the fly, just brush through the hair. You'll get lots of the loose fibers away, which you are already cut it off, and you may find some other fibers which have been trapped under. So the fly is it's like almost ready, not completely ready yet, but you can spend probably close to 5 minutes on each fly, trimming it until you're satisfied with it. We're going to stop there. It's gonna be like about this, but I'm showing you the technique, not how to tie like a perfect Krafla. But this is something which I will definitely take out fishing. Then the last step is to place a varnish on the head, and you see how the head looks. It looks very good. And this fly it comes in strong when it's when you have like a colored or murky water. The salmon sees the fly very well. And there you have it. This is Krafla by Kristján Gíslason. It's a really good fly, and it's an all Icelandic pattern. Don't forget that. So I'm doing the Icelandic patterns for you guys to see what we are doing here in Iceland, and open up like a gateway for you to Icelandic fly tying and fly patterns. So I just want to say thanks for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys happy, up and running in the next video.